What's going on, guys? So I wanted to do a little forward to this video. This is a video I shot a while ago, and I felt it needed a little bit of explanation in the beginning before the video gets rolling. So that's what we're doing here now. And I had a bunch of other videos that went ahead of it, so kind of just sat there for a little while. But basically, the video is me comparing the Smith & Wesson 686 Plus to the Colt Python. Now, I went back and watched the video and I go, people are going to say, oh, there's a wood grip version. Yes, I know. Okay. I know that this comes in the regular 686. So this is a stand-in for the 686, but I only have the 686 Plus. So I know you get 7 rounds. Colt does not offer a Python in a 7-round version. I know you can get the version with the beautiful factory wood grips, and I know all of that. Okay. So consider that when you're watching the video and you're yelling at the screen about how wrong I am. And I know there's going to be people out there, oh, they do that. So I just wanted to give that little bit of forward and caveat into when you're watching this video. I know I'm just comparing the one I bought at the store for the way it comes with the rubber grips and the Hillary hole and all that and the finish and all that kind of stuff, and the Python as I had. Now, this one has since had a set of fixed D&L combat sights. Awesome. I will put a link to that video review down below. They're fantastic. You'll see in the video they have the factory adjustable sights on there. So, but I just wanted to give that little caveat mostly for the 686 fans. Now, it's a great gun. And I know that they have a higher end version. So kind of consider that when I compare, because there's such what I consider a large price difference. So there it is. Here's the video on that. And let me know what you think in the comments down below. Today, we're going to take a look at the Smith & Wesson 686. This one happens to be a 686 Plus, and the Colt Python. We're going to compare the two. We're going to talk about all kinds of stuff: build material, feel, quality, prices, options, all kinds of cool stuff. So let's just get right into it and take a look at the Smith first. Let's take a look at the Smith. So as stated before, this is a Smith 686 Plus. So as you can see, it's a stainless steel revolver with a 4.2 5-inch barrel chambered in 357 Magnum. Now, this one is the Plus, meaning it has a 7th round. So this is a 7-round cylinder as opposed to the standard 686, which is 6-round, and the Colt is a 6-round. Now, that is one benefit for the Smith & Wesson. They do offer this as an option. I don't have the 6-round 686 because I have the Plus. So we're just going to compare the two. You can, act like they're both 6-round options, but that doesn't really matter. But this is an option for Smith & Wesson that Colt doesn't offer. So that's a plus for the Smith & Wesson. Build quality. I got to be honest with you and give it to the Colt. If you look at, let me zoom in at this. Look at all the brushing marks, this is a brushed stainless gun. But when I got this, see those right there? See right there. Now, I did a full review of both of these guns, and you're going to see this in the review. But that was there. There's one like down here. There's one on the other side. You can see right there and right there. Look at all the heavy brushing on this gun. There's some issues with the cylinder. Now, this was not from me shooting it. Oh, there we go, right there. Can you see it right there? This is how it was right there when I picked it up. Okay, it is just not as refined as the Colt. So when it comes to build quality and finish, I think build quality is very comparable. They're both very strong, very capable 357 Magnum revolvers. But, and there you go. Look at that right there. How it's like, let me see if I can zoom that in. How it's like different brushing I don't know what the deal with that is right there. But this one comes with rubber grips. Obviously, this one comes with wood. And, you know, removable front sight, adjustable rear. They both have that. There is the sight picture on the Smith. This one does have the Hillary hole. I don't like that, but it doesn't affect function or reliability or accuracy or anything. So, build quality, I would say, is comparable. Finishing is got to go to the Colt, 100%. Let's take a look at the Colt real quick. So, as you can see, the Colt, you see my face in it right there, is almost a mirror polish finish. Now, could they have done this on the Smith? Sure, and I think an aftermarket gunsmith can probably do the same thing and clean a lot of this stuff up. But you don't have to with the Colt, and that would also kind of explain the price difference. As you see, this one comes with some very beautiful wood grips on it. These are from the factory, and they feel really good too. Guys, one of the things you cannot experience through video is the tangible aspect of it, the feeling in your hands. And there's definitely a aspect to guns with that can you know, that has to do with feeling. And when you pick up a gun, you can feel quality in it. Not saying this one is not quality, because again, this is a very strong, very capable revolver. But the quality, just in the fact that moving the cylinder release and the crane and this is like butter. I mean, it is like butter on here. Everything is super smooth. They took the time and beveled the cylinder here at the end. It just, when it locks up, it feels better than the Smith. It does feel better than the Smith. I'll give that to you. The Smith kind of, it kind of goes clunk, and it's kind of, that's not bad. That cylinder is pretty smooth, but it's kind of like just clunk. There's a little bit more rattle in the Colt, I mean the Smith, than there is in the Colt. When you push the Colt out, listen to it is just buttery smooth. It is buttery smooth. It is, I mean, so listen. Now, again, this one rattles a little bit more. There's a little bit, maybe a little bit more play in the Smith. No, they're about the same. But it's just, the Colt is just so much more refined than the Smith. As far as styling goes, I kind of prefer the Colt, the way it looks with the rib on the barrel, but that is subjective. That's a personal, you know, a personal preference for everybody is different. Now, the trigger pulls. We're going to get trigger pulls and stuff like that on here. So I would say build quality, QC, materials and stuff like that, the amount of refinement goes to the Colt. Not taking anything away from the Smith, because again, it is a very capable revolver. Now, far as options go, with the 7th round for the 686 Plus, that definitely goes to the Smith. And then we're going to get a trigger pull on them, because I think they're different in you know, how the trigger pulls. I think maybe, and let me guess this before we do this, I think maybe the Colt has a better double action than the Smith, but the Smith has a lighter and better single action than the Colt. So let's just we'll get the trigger pulls after this. But so there's a little bit of take up with the Smith, and then you're pulling through. You can stage it right there and then pull through. And then here's the single action. Of course, no take up, and then it's fantastic on this gun. I'm telling you, single action is awesome on this gun. The Colt, now it feels like it's stacking, so it's very smooth. I would give the Colt, and then you can stage it right there. So you're able to stage both these revolvers. I would give the double action to the Colt And the single action, yeah, because look, there's a little hitch in, and I've seen people say the same thing about their Pythons. See that? See the movement in the trigger and the hammer go back a little bit, and then it falls. So double action all the way through smooth, and then single action. It's there, but you get see the movement of the hammer as I'm pulling the trigger back. You get a little bit of movement, hits a wall, and then when it falls. When it falls, it's really nice, but the Smith is just so much nicer. I do dig the hammer on the Colt more. It's got a longer tang to be able to cock it for single action than the Smith. As you can see, the Smith is more aggressive, but it is shorter, so you got to reach back farther to grab it. That's not that big of a deal, just pointing that out. Again, the Smith cylinder release, I would give it to the Smith because I think most revolvers are push forward, and you got to get used to the Colt on pulling back, because when I first got it, I wanted to push forward. So pulling back, you kind of pull back. But also, there is texturing. There are vertical lines on the trigger of the Colt. There is nothing on the trigger of the Smith. If you like that or not, it's just smooth. I would say all in all, if I had to choose only one, I would personally go with the Python. Now, with that being said, here's the price difference. This was about $1,000 for the Plus, and I think the regular $686 is right about the same price. So you get a 7th round in this revolver for $1,000. This thing was $1,500. So $500 more, but it is a finer made revolver. Now, if you're just looking for a home defense, you're just looking for a in the field gun, this is perfectly capable, perfectly accurate. I would say mechanically, they're probably about the same. Let me see what the lockup looks like. So maybe you can hear that. There's a little bit of play in it, but that's normal for lockup for the Smith. And let's see the Colt. Same. Less. There's definitely less. So it definitely locks up a little bit tighter, but not much. And that really doesn't matter too much when it comes to accuracy and stuff. Oh, let's get a weight on them. You know what? Let's see what each one weighs. Let me set the Colt over here for a second, just because, just to figure out. 39.16 for the Smith, 39.16, 41.63, 65. So the Python is heavier. Python's a heavier gun. Let's get this out of the way and let's do some of those trigger pulls. Now, again, I did full reviews on these guns. So if you want to see more detailed full reviews on these guns, go check that out. I'm just going to do one of each. So 1104 on the double action. And let me see if I can get this right on the single because it is stupid light. 2.76. It's beautiful on this gun. It really is. There is. Look at that. There's no movement. I just put it on, touch, and boom. It's fantastic on this gun. It really is. And the Colt's not as good single action, I will be honest with you. So there you go. 8.63. What was the other one? 11 something? 8.63 on the double action. And let's check the single. 5.94 on. So, and that could be the pull too, because like I said, there's a little hitch in that I showed you. 4.50. So there you go. It probably is about 4.5, 5, but there's that little hitch in there where there's a little bit of take up and the hammer is moving before it breaks. So single action definitely goes to the Smith. Again, if I had to choose only one, given the price, do I think the extra $500 is worth it in the Colt? I personally do. I would give up the extra round for the Colt. I think the Colt is a much nicer revolver. It's a snake gun, man. I think the Colt is a much nicer revolver. I think it's more refined. I think it's better made, maybe they put more attention into it than the Smith, but capability wise, I believe they're equal. I believe this one is actually, now again, we're pretending that this is a 6-shot one, although this is an offering of one. So I believe this is it has better offerings. The single action's better. The price is less. If you don't mind the extra $500 difference, I can see where the $500 goes. You know, some people be like, I'm not paying $500. I totally get that. And this is, again, a totally capable revolver. But the grips alone are like $100 right there. So there's some of that. And all the extra work they put into this revolver, I can see where the $500 is. And I personally think it's worth it. So there it is, guys. Let me know what you think. Which one would you choose, given everything we've talked about here? Again, accuracy, reliability is basically the same. Trigger pull's better. Double action on the Colt, single action on the Smith. $500 difference. Do you think it's worth it? Let me know down in the comments below, guys. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.